Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Mythicist Podcast. First off, I want to say a huge thank you to all of the monthly supporters, everyone who has been given financially each month. You guys have been a huge blessing to me and helping me free up time where I don't have to do side jobs and create websites and things like that for people just to pay for what we're trying to build here. Thank you guys so much for helping me free up time and support the vision. You guys mean the world to me. If you would like to give, you can go to mythicist.me and click on partners at the top, become a monthly partner. We're going to start rolling out some things, some extra podcasts, some Google Hangout sessions and things like that for everybody who has become a monthly partner. So thanks so much, guys.
You are now listening to the Mythicist Podcast, your portal to the paranormal, streaming live at mythicist.me. Your hub for all things spiritual, esoteric, and paranormal. And now, your host, TruthSeekah.
In this episode, we're speaking to Chris Harman about making esoteric knowledge tangible. How do you take all of this stuff, apply it to your life, and see results from getting into and studying esoteric symbolism and knowledge? What does it all mean? Is it just to puff up your head, just that you know all of this deep stuff? How do we make this tangible in our lives? So without further ado, Chris Harman. What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Just winding down after the long day. Did a couple drawings. Did some reading, chilling out.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about some of the drawings that you've been doing. We'll touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Esoteric Empyre and everything that you have going on over there. Like, how did you get started on that path? Like, what drew you to esoteric mysticism and, you know, those type of things that you kind of promote on that page?
Well, it kind of pursued me, I'd say, if anything. I've always had like this curiosity about the world and my place in it and who I am and what this life is and the mystery of creation and all of that, and it just sort of always mesmerized me. And as I got older, it just always called to me, and I always just was open to the unknown, you know. And the more I wondered, I feel like I sort of watered those seeds, you know, with contemplation. And as I grew in my research and my meditations and all that, it's, I would call them revelations, man, you know, divine revelations. I'm sure you know what those are. Yeah, man. So the stronger that got, the more compelled I felt to spread that message. You know what I mean? So that's really what took me up on starting this path. I've been in it for quite a few years. You know, I've been following a lot of pages. One of the pages that I've been following for a while that kind of grabbed my attention was Art of the Initiate. Your music actually really spoke to me a lot. You know, I used to listen to that stuff nonstop, and I just would meditate a lot on the scriptures and the ancient knowledge, and I would get deep in, you know, what really woke me up, I would say, would be the Hermeticism, man. I would start reading the Hermeticism and some of the Egyptian knowledge that really awoke in consciousness for me on another level. And then once I did that, I started to understand Jesus more and all of that knowledge. And now it's really it's becoming full, you know. My understanding with it is becoming more full. My knowledge of myself is becoming more full. I'm gaining more clarity of who I am, my place in this world, and my mission, and all of that, you know. So the Esoteric Empyre, it actually came to me, man. I was sitting on my couch getting ready to go to my family's house on Christmas. It was December 24th. I'll never forget it. And I was just sitting there. I was waiting for my girl she was just getting ready in the bathroom, and I was just sitting there waiting for her. I was messing around on Facebook or whatever. And all of a sudden, I kept hearing this thing called Esoteric Empyre in my head. Like, it just kept coming into my head. So finally, December 24th, it was like 2:00 in the afternoon, and I was like, I heard Esoteric Empyre out of nowhere again. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a Facebook page. And I started the Facebook page December 24th. I don't know how long ago that was. It was like probably 40 or 50 days ago. And within that time frame, from December 24th to now, we have 32,000 followers. We have a great community of people that are highly engaged and active. The mission of the page is to break down the knowledge, make it in a more user-friendly way, I would say. I feel like I get revelations to break down esoteric analyses of hidden knowledge, that people get stuck on, and the religions are confusing. The mission is to just find a community of people, like-minded people like yourself and a couple other people that I'm involved with that actually do understand these meanings of, like, per se, Jesus's message or Hermes' message or, Krishna, the list goes on and on. I mean, you can find the truth anywhere if you're looking, but the mission is just to bring God and make God accessible to the person that doesn't know what God is, and that's really where it's going. And I disconnect myself from the message. I ask God to lead me in the truth, and it's been working, man. I can't really say much more about it. I mean, I wake up every morning, and the first thing I contemplate is his life and this mystery, man. And like I was saying earlier, I came up with this saying. It was the water of contemplation germinates the seeds of revelation. That just came to me out of nowhere. That was just like, that was a revelation in itself, and it's true. And it's true, like you ponder over questions and you put them into your subconscious mind. And if you're coming from a pure frame of mind with it, it's going to come to you. God is going to reveal to you what you are searching. All of the masters said, I'll just use Jesus because he's the most familiar. He said, you reap what you sow, seek and you shall find, and it's the God's honest truth. And so basically my message is just to, like I said, make God more user-friendly and open people's eyes up to this great mystery of life and the beauty of it all,
Yeah, the page is growing really fast, really quick. And I think it shows that, where we are as a people, and that I think our generation is hungry for something deeper than this mundane experience that we've been sold for generation upon generation with, working, come home, cook,
Yep.
take care of the kids, go to work, do it again, pay for the car, pay for the mortgage, pay for the gas to get to work. And man, just this crazy cycle that we're in. And people are like, look, man, I know that there's more to this existence than just existing.
Yeah.
That, we're put here to thrive, and we have dreams and visions and aspirations. And, people are longing for that stuff. So I think that the esoteric empire and just this overstanding that's within us, I think people are yearning for something greater than themselves. And so when it's something positive and showing that, we are spiritual beings, and people have been having experiences and encounters for so long, and the clergy won't help them, the pastors won't help them. So they're like, look, I found this guy, Chris, on Facebook with this page, and I'm gonna ask him some questions,
Yeah. And I feel like, that's almost the beauty of it, like if you do the research on these ancient masters, they weren't found in churches giving sermons, they were out there looking for the person that was lost, and I feel almost in a way like when you are doing that work, that great work of finding the lost soul, you're amplifying your own spiritual energy on a higher level. Because I feel it, when people come to me for answers and I'm able to give clarity, and it gets into an emotional state, people, some people start breaking down crying, and we can attribute these experiences to biblical stories like Lazarus, for instance, you in a way resurrected Lazarus when you help someone find themselves, Mm-hmm. And so basically I'm living that. I know you're living that. And I got a few other, people in my immediate connection of people that are doing that same thing. And it's just, I know it works. People call it a miracle, but it's really just, you're working with the essence that is within you that we all contain. And all you have to do is just commit to it. Just let go of your will. Be like, look, you are a creation in this beautiful life. And the more you recognize that and try to serve that existence is going to serve you, and it's going to guide your path, and just disconnect from what all the plans that you had, and just follow that spirit, and it will never guide you in the wrong way.
Yeah. It'll definitely lead you into all truths, no matter which, avenue that you tend to go down, or what place, even if it seems like, man, why the hell am I here? Everything's going against me, nothing's in my favor, but to just trust in bliss and know that you're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And so even if we talk about Jesus, he says, I give peace in the midst of the storm.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? And just to know that no matter where you are, you're right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful too. It's like when you're saying that, touching people on a deeper level, there's a sense of gratitude and accomplishment that I get from helping people spiritually. I feel like I'm doing something that's going to last for eternity.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? Something that nobody can take away from me or that person, that this is sealed, Yeah.
And I actually made a post about that the other day. It was, I forget the exact verbatim of it, but it was along those lines where it was just like, the more you serve this essence that we have, this thing of God that's within us, the flame, the more you do that from a pure point of view and a pure standpoint, and just because it's the natural thing that you want to do, your spirit wants to do, when you disconnect ego from that and you just serve it just because you want to serve the creation that you're a part of, you start to gain power, and you start to gain spiritual power. You start to gain clairvoyance a little bit. You start to have visions and dreams and revelations, and you start to gain this power. And the funny thing is when it's coming from a pure point of view, like, you don't even want that power. So you're like, oh shit, I don't want this power. Like, I don't want to be attached to, people are going to perceive me as having ego or this or that. But, I tried to detach from it because I didn't want that stigma of, oh, Chris thinks he's this or Chris thinks he's that. But you know what? Like, I don't even have a choice in it anymore. Like, God has, I feel like this is my mission, is to get this word out. And so I just serve that mission. And, like I was saying, I tried to detach from it. I ran from it for a while, but now I gave up, and my mission is to serve that essence and just sing to the creator of how much I love this life, this existence, and just show everybody how beautiful their life is, and this their role in this all, and that's the mission, and the mission is unfolding before my eyes. I don't really have a plan for it, but I think it has a plan for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, not my will, thy will, and I'm just going with it, man. And it's connected. You and I, it's connected. It's been connecting people on a global scale. I'm connected with people in the UK, Australia, Africa. I'm touching people all over the world, and it's really a powerful thing. And I don't see it going anywhere. So it's just, I just succumb to it. And I'm just serving that, and they say, many are called, few are chosen. I was thinking about this before you even contacted me today. I was going to try to break this down esoterically, the analysis of it. When the Bible says that many are called, few are chosen, some people will interpret that in a way of, oh, many are called, so not everyone is called. And when they say few are chosen, it means the few are the people that decide to serve that, So when in essence, you are God. So when you are chosen, it means that you are consciously acknowledging this thing that you have, and you are serving that. So when you consciously do that, you are now chosen. So that's kind of where I feel I'm at with it. I just, it called to me, and I'm choosing to serve that. It's the most beautiful thing that I can imagine. It's just done unbelievably beautiful things in my life, and I don't see it stopping, and I'm not going to stop. And it's become my life, honestly.
A lot of people are operating in this world, and we're all playing this game, right? The game of life. And, but, people don't know the rules to the game. People don't know the laws to the game, like universal law. Like I think one that you just mentioned, you reap what you sow. That's a universal law. That's part of the game. You need to understand that if you're gonna play this game and succeed, and have a good life, and follow your bliss, there's things that you need to know, and they are involved in spirituality. They are spiritual principles, and so
absolutely,
that's what we call universal law as well. People don't know that. The law of attraction, the power of your words. Whatever you speak, you create. Whatever you focus on, you create. You attract these things to you with your thoughts, dreams, ideas, and then once you have those thoughts, you confess them and speak them out, and you create them as you speak them. And so that's like 101.
It's a Hermetic axiom. Like I said in the beginning, Hermeticism is really what awakened my consciousness to a whole nother dimension, I would say. I started reading some of these axioms, and I was just, it just started like unlocking codes, I would say, in my head, like things that I knew, but I just was reminded of them. So that one thing where is, the universe is mental and we're all inside the mind of the all. And I started to think about that with another Hermetic axiom, which is as above, so below. So I started to imagine God as a man. And, I applied that to myself, like I have these thoughts in my head, and, we're speaking through a computer, but I can literally see you in my head right now. So our thoughts have energy, and everything we think about or say or do or feel, we're leaving an energetic imprint on the ether. And this ether recognizes this. And this is when the law of cause and effect comes into play. Whatever you do, you get back, and, that goes back to any ancient teaching. We'll use Jesus again, just because we already mentioned it. You reap what you sow, whatever seeds you sow, you're going to grow that fruit. And what kind of fruit do you want to be growing in the Garden of Eden? Do you want to be growing rotten apples, or do you want to be growing good apples? It's all up to you at that point. And once you start to, use these metaphors with your life, you start to empower yourself, your mind, your life, and everybody around you. And like you said, these laws are spiritual laws. And in order to become a master at this game of life, you need to know the metaphysics of where you are, and it takes work to be doing that. Not everybody is wanting to embark on this path, because it does take some serious self-reflection. It does take some serious, reflections of yourself and analysis of who you are. And I'll just go right out there and say, I was a completely unconscious person back, years ago. I was just going around, just existing, I'd say, and not even in a good way. I was just doing just what I thought that was normal, because society has these standards on what is normal and what is acceptable. And to be honest, from a spiritual standpoint, like, they are not what you should be doing. And the more I started reaping my seeds of my actions, I started to open my eyes a little more. So eventually I got to the point where I just, I hit rock bottom. And I just really had to start looking at myself from an internal perspective. And that's when my life started to completely change. And then that's when I started to really connect with I call it God. Some people have a problem with people calling it God, but I call it God just because why not? Like,
it don't matter. Yeah.
It don't matter. It is what it is. The all, the one God, the nameless one, ancient one, whatever you want to call it. I'm just calling it God for right now. That's when I really started to connect with that energy, when I had to start searching, and that's where it drove home the fact of, if you seek, you shall find. I started leaving that energetic imprint on the ether. I started sending out those messages to the infinite mind, and the infinite mind started hearing my call and started sending me back messages. And once I started getting that clarity in those messages, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, there's definitely something going on that we don't know. And that's when I started to really start searching,
Yeah.
And once I just said, you know what, I'm going to start searching. This is my life. That's when the miracles and the magic started to unfold before my very eyes. And literally every single day, man, like, there's some sort of synchronistic thing that happens. There's some sort of affirmation being sent from a distant land in another dimension and just affirming my existence and my mission and my path, So, and that seeking is what created what we're doing right now. You know,
Yeah.
like I originally, I was woken up. I'll just tell you a story. I don't think I've ever told you this. I had an experience one time, you know, I went to like a music festival and had this crazy experience. And I got back home and I had all these questions, you know, in my head. And it was like 3:00 in the morning, and I like was woken up out of nowhere. And something told me to go search YouTube for this knowledge that I needed to have. So I started searching YouTube, and I typed in ancient knowledge on YouTube. I started watching these videos, dude. Oh man, like my life was changed completely at that moment. And then, but from searching those videos, I came across TruthSeekah, and I heard like some songs that like really blew me away, dude. So I like started really listening to you, and I started introducing my friends to you, and then long story short, I found you on Facebook. You put out an album, I pre-ordered it, and then long story short, that's how this conversation came to be right now, is from just searching God. So basically God connected us on a metaphysical level to bring it to the physical realm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
yeah, so it's a beautiful thing, man. It's awesome that it's just not a theory or like I'm searching for knowledge. My quest is knowledge. Because you're saying that you're in touch with something that's responding back to you, something that's leading you, that's conversating with you, that's guiding you, a loving energy, man. And so I tell you what, dude, when I got born again, when I hit my, you know, rock bottom place and I called out to God for a savior, right? Like when I made that connection with God, stepped into my life, I never felt alone again because I always was like depressed. I always like fantasized about killing myself, hanging myself, and just crazy stuff that I was going through as a teenager who was lost.
Dude, I've been there, man. I've been there.
And whenever I did that, man, I've never been alone. I'd be sitting by myself, and I always have this person with me, you know, Jesus or the Holy Spirit or God or whatever. It's like he's a friend. You know what I'm saying? It's a teacher, a helper, someone who cares about you that wants to hang out. It just wants to hang out and talk at the very least. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that's like people are like depressed and they have no direction. It's like, look, make that connection with God, man. And that changes everything. Hey, I'm not alone. There is someone who cares for me. It's crazy. It's hard to explain. There's so many metaphors and teachings about it. And I think they all apply. So, you know, we may use terms of Jesus and Christian terms when we're dealing with Christians or whatever, but like all the terms apply.
Oh yeah,
it's
totally.
All energy. This is all energy. This is universal.
All of the religions basically speak about the same exact thing in just a different way, you know. And part of my mission is to synthesize these teachings to connect these cultures, because everyone is under the impression that they're all different. Like there's no different God. They all worship the one creator, the one all. It's just these ideals are coming from prophets who were on a completely different level of consciousness. And people in the churches and the pulpits, they're trying to break down these teachings from an unconscious point of view. You know, like you can't understand the level of these spiritual teachings unless you connect with your spirit on another level. And that's where all the confusion is taking place. And what I like to tell people, you know, I get a lot of people that come to me and they're like, you know, give me some books or give me this or this religion's bad or this or that. It's like, all right, dude, let me just tell you one thing. In the beginning, when God created, you know, God didn't send down the creation with a manual or a book to read to find out how to find what this mystery is. The whole of the law is written on your spirit, and if you can connect with your spirit, you don't even need to read a book. The trick is just to disconnect from the egoic, simple nature of your animal being, and the more you can detach from those things that keep you stuck in the illusion, the more clear your life and who you are will become. So basically, a lot of my teachings that I try to get out to people is on a personal level of themselves. I take the teachings that try to connect people with themselves and try to show them the nature of who they are, you know, because before I got conscious, man, like I said, dude, I was unconscious and I was just I was just feeding the beast, man. I was just living in the animal, feeding the animal part of myself, you know. But when I woke up, man, I realized, like, dude, I got this spiritual essence that is crying for love and attention. And the more I detach from the things that were hurting my spirit and cultivating the spirit that is in me, that flame has grown, man. And I'm being purified in that flame. I'm not going to say I'm a guru or a prophet or anything like that, but I have this spiritual flame inside that I nurture and I keep it stoked and fired up at all times. And the way I do that is to make sacrifices. We all have our thoughts and we all have these things that nag at us. And the more you can battle those and overcome those and become the king of the empire of yourself, the more closer to the supreme you will get, you know. And that's basically where my knowledge comes from, my theology comes from. And when you go over these ancient teachers, you know, that's what their message was too. It wasn't be like, follow me. It was like, dude, here's this teaching. This is a blueprint for for you to get in touch with yourself. You know, people confuse all these teachings with, oh, you got to worship this guy or you got to worship that guy. No, dude, you got to worship the essence that is within you. And once you start to realize that essence within you, you realize that it's contained within everybody. Yeah. And when you realize that, you realize the oneness. And when you realize the oneness, then you are on your way to evolving into immortality. You know, that's when Jesus says, you know, drink of this living water and you won't taste death. And what he was saying was, when you realize these high spiritual truths, and when you really realize them, when you gain gnosis of them, not just when you read them in the book, when you actually gain gnosis, when you experience this knowledge for yourself and you make it a part of your being, that's when the transformation starts to take place. And then that's when you start to walk down the path of immortality and you don't taste death anymore, you know? So that's basically what my mission is to get people in contact with these teachings. And the more people that wake up to these realities of the power that is contained within them, the greater our world will be. You know, I posted a meme today that said, you know, when one person awakens, the entire world changes for the better. And, you know, that's the complete honest truth, you know, like, if one person just awoke right now and they realize like they need to start making big changes in their life for not just themselves, but for all of creation, the world literally just got better. Yeah. And I see, you know, our community of people, you know, we're perpetuating that vibe, you know, we're sending out that message. More people are being like, okay, what's this all about? You know, and, you know, that's the power in it all. And I disconnect myself from that message, you know, because it's not my message. That's an eternal message coming from the all. And that's everybody's message. It's just a matter of, do you want to preach it, you know? And more people are starting to want to preach that message, and more people are starting to get down with the cause. And I just see big things from here on out, man. I really do.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, man. A lot of people, I mean, we get these messages and inboxes every day, and I think we can look back at our own walk and see how we were in that situation too. But people, when they're first waking up, like, you know, they are looking for a guru. They are looking for somebody to lead them, somebody to say, do this, don't do that, or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you, and I know it's hard because it's different for everybody. And what sets us apart from religion is that that's okay. Yeah. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay to have a different revelation. You don't have to take my doctrine, repeat it, and run with it or whatever, right? So it's like, look, something else may call you, and that's okay. Yeah. You may have a different opinion. That's okay. You know?
There's essentially one truth, man, that I try to get everyone out to, you know. I say, you know, when you're searching or you're contemplating or you're doing this or you're doing that or you're reading these books and you're trying to understand Kabbalah or these complex spiritual, you know, theologies, you know, people, you know, often say, you know, how do I understand this? I says, well, first try to look at it from the perspective of love. You know, everything in essence is coming from love, you know, and if the more you can have love, the more clear all of these teachings will be. And that's why I try to get people disconnected, or not disconnected, but, you know, I try to show them the natures of themselves, you know, like what kind of demons do you have? Like, are you nagged by the demon of lust or envy or greed or what, you know, we all have vices when we're sleeping, you know, and we're all battling those daily, you know. So I just try to get people to recognize that within themselves. And the more that they can recognize the parts of themselves that are holding them back spiritually and working on that, then they can go and grow in spirit from there, you know? And that's essentially my doctrine, man. You know, I don't claim any religion. I don't claim any one thing. I mean, I made a post the other day, I you know, and I was just joking around. It was just all in good fun. It's like, I'm such an esoteric scientist. I could find the truth in a lie, you know? And, you know, essentially that's, it's a joke, but it's fun. It's the truth. You know, I could read any book and I could extract some sort of truth from it, you know, for me, my truth.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to come from a place of love, and
yeah.
Love is the truth. If it has love and the person that you're talking to is coming from a place of love, you know, then essentially what's happening is divine in nature, and you need to just nurture that, you know. So
yeah, once you find out that God is all, and then God is in all,
yeah,
he or it is in everything.
Oh, it's in everything, dude. It's in a pebble of sand to the entire cosmos, man. You know, like that's where my spiritual vision is, man. I don't no longer have to sit down and consciously contemplate this mystery of God. I am completely God consumed. In my dreams, I have these visions, and as soon as my eyes wake up, like I said, like my mind is on God. And I think because I've evolved into that kind of human being, now I'm becoming sort of I don't know the right word. I don't want to say something crazy, but I'm the prophet of my own life. You know, I'm not the prophet of anybody else's life, but I feel like I can go to my place in my mind of stillness, and I can confer with the supreme energy, and I can make decisions on my own without having to go to a book or to somebody else or to anything like that. You know, I have faith in the fact of the spiritual energy that resides within me to guide my life, you know. And in me doing that, I pass on my truths to people, and if they apply, they apply. If they don't, they don't. Oh well, it's not a big thing. My main goal is to get people in touch with that within their own selves, so they can be the prophets of their own life. And within that, we'll have a generation of leaders. We'll raise our kids to be the leaders of the next generation, and from that, it will just keep perpetuating until literally heaven is on earth, you know. And that's the mission, man. That's the mission. And it's going to take a little bit of sacrifice, but I mean, that's for the greater good. What more sacrifice could you want, you know?
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who's just starting out, who's listening to this podcast, and they're just like, you know, they're wanting to make something happen. They're wanting to make that connection. Like, they're being called by all of this stuff. But like, what is like the essentials? where's the first place to start?
All right. Well, when I first started out, man, I'll be honest, dude, I started having doubts, you know, because we're not patient, you know. We're still involved in, like I was saying earlier, the animal parts of ourselves, and the animal parts of ourselves want instant gratification. We want to be completely gratified. You know, we live in a society that offers us instant gratification in anything, in food, in lusts, in all of the things that are harmful to our spirit. We can be gratified instantly. With spirit, that's not the case. You have to make a conscious decision to want to live that lifestyle first and foremost. It can't just be like, oh yeah, you say you pray or you do this or you do that. No, you have to it has to be a conscious decision to want to search this mystery, and your heart has to be in it first and foremost. If that's not there, and you still want to do the things that you know are harmful to yourself and others around you, then you're never going to be successful on the path. What you have to do is you have to recognize the parts of your life that are harmful, and then you have to start to consciously make changes in those areas. Once you start to consciously do that, you will start leaving an energetic imprint on the ether, like I was saying before. You will be sending out these messages to the Supreme, and they will get this message, and they will identify with, okay, my child is calling for me, you know, the father, the mother, whatever you want to call it. They're calling for me, and just like other parents, you know, if their kids are crying, they go and tend them. But you have to want that. And then you just have to start contemplating. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to think about anything in life, anything in life worth doing, it obviously is not, it does not happen overnight, correct? You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, but I don't like using that metaphor because, I mean, Rome sucked. But you have to start setting seeds out, man. You have to start planting seeds in the ground and start watering them, and eventually you're gonna start getting answers. And that I promise you, I can swear to you that's gonna happen. It just you just got to be patient. Patient is a virtue, and it's a virtue of the God man.
I know you mentioned synchronicities a while ago. What do you think synchronicities mean when people are seeing the numbers, the phrases, and things like that over and over? What does that mean to you?
Synchronicities in my life, they're just small affirmations. I mean, some of them, you know, really blew me away. Mm-hmm. But to me, I'll see it, and then I'll take that as a small affirmation of you know, the spirit just confiding in me and making me conscious of what's going on in my life. You know, when I was first seeking, I was really involved in reading all these signs and all these numbers, and you know, it did a lot of magic in my life, and I think a lot of that had to do with because I gave it so much energy. You know what I mean? Like, oh crap, I just saw 1111. Yeah. Oh, that's got to mean something, you know? So I involved my mind in these thoughts very heavily. So they started to manifest grandiose synchronicities in my life, you know? Nowadays I see those things and everything's going well, but I think in the beginning what they were doing was they were starting me on the path. Obviously we're talking, and this very conversation is the product of a synchronicity, you know? So I basically think that...
Who is they to you?
Well, I was just saying they as in like the synchronicities.
Okay.
I was just addressing the days as the synchronicities, but
okay. Because that's one I wanted to get to as well with you. I wanted to see where do aliens fit into all this with you?
Aliens?
Yeah,
all right, dude. You want to get down and dirty with it? I mean, dude, I've seen UFOs myself, so I mean, they're there. You know, like we're not the only things that exist in this in these cosmos. You know, there's other beings. People will think you're crazy for saying that, but I mean, I've seen them. I've been up on a mountain at nighttime, and I've seen UFOs, dude. And I've been with people that have seen them also. There's going to probably be people that are listening to this podcast that were with me when we saw these UFOs. Have I ever seen like the beings? No, I just saw these aircraft that did some things that I've never seen done before. And I don't think that can be done with our human technology that we got right now. So
was any experience or communication linked to that? You know what I'm saying, with your spirituality? Like whenever you seen that, was there a heightened sense of awareness or things that were going on later?
Dude, honestly,
do you believe?
Dude, honestly, like I said, dude, my life has been like the past couple years. It just really took off out of nowhere. Every day, my life is doing something that just blows me away. Yeah. Something crazy is happening to me. So, I believe that there are unseen forces at work, you know, in our lives, and we are tapped into that consciousness. So, I mean, they could mean some things, and you know, I honestly, man, I don't really focus on it too much. I acknowledge that they're there, and I know that I will know when the time comes to what's really going on, you know? So that's basically it, where I'm at with that.
That's always a good place to go. You know, I mention that a lot in my music as well. So,
yeah.
Seen a lot of stuff, man, and I think they are linked together. I think that it is linked. I think that's why I said they. I wanted to mention that. You know, what do you think that is going on?
What do I think is going on?
And, you know what I'm saying, being a part of our lives, you know.
Yeah, dude, I feel like I look at these ancient sites and stuff like that, and dude, there's no way to explain some of these constructions, man. I mean, the only way you can really explain some of these constructions, like the pyramids and other ancient sites around the world, like Machu Picchu or Pumapunku or any of these places, you know, there was some high technology being used to construct these places that us today in our most advanced technology, it would be pretty much impossible to recreate. So if you know that to be true, then you have to go a step further and be like, all right, so here we are advanced right now in all this technology in the world we're in. So who were the people that built these places or constructed these monuments or these megalithic sites or carved these huge statues out of these obelisks, you know? And dude, they were highly advanced technological human beings. I don't know about humans or whatever, but they were on a completely different level than we are. But we all have the ability to get to that level, and basically that's what I'm aspiring to get to, is to rise to that level of understanding of what they understood, and that's where we're working towards. And I'm making conscious decisions in my life to try to advance my being, my mind, my consciousness to rise to that level. And the roles do I think they're playing is, you know, I'm sure that they know what's going on down here. You know, it's, if you look around, you know, we're in a place that is not that great. You know, like we have, I don't even need to go into it, man. You look around, and you know, you got just you know, this could either a hell on earth for somebody, or it could be heaven on earth. But it's one of the, you know, it's that is the reality of where we are right now. It's hell and it's heaven for some people, and I'm not going to be happy until we're all in heaven, you know, until everyone is happy and living in bliss. And I don't mean just the people. I mean the animals. I mean the trees. I mean the water. I mean the fish. I don't want one soul to suffer. I want everything to live in harmony and in bliss. And I don't think that we're at our level of completeness or evolution until that is possible, you know, until that is the reality of where we are. And I believe all this suffering and this heartache is meant to advance our souls to align with the higher spiritual principles. I recognize these principles. I feel pain over this every day. And I believe that's why God is so active in my life, because he sees me longing and hurting for our fellow brethren and sisters and the animals and then the trees, man. And he eases my pain as best he can, because I have a genuine pain over all this madness in the world we live in, you know, and that, you know, that comfort from that higher energy, it builds strength, man. And I always make posts about being a spiritual warrior, you know. Being a spiritual human being is a tough life, because you see realities that most people are blind to, and that's why people don't embark on this path, and because it's a painful path, and humans are creatures of emotion, and we don't like to feel pain. But I don't have a choice in the matter anymore. I can't just be unconscious of the things that I'm conscious of. You know, once your mind is expanded to larger dimensions, it will never contract back to the old way. So basically, I'm just trying to evolve my being. I'm trying to evolve the people around me, and I'm trying to just make my reach to those that hear the message and want to evolve with me. Because, like I said, dude, all the ancient masters, man, they had a brotherhood. You know, they had people that they went and they talked to, and they conversed about these higher beings like we're doing right now. And in a way, I believe that sends out the energy, and it also brings down spiritual vitality to us, you know. So that's basically my mission, man, is to link us all up and create a community of people that see these truths and these realities, and we try to make a change for creation, a change for God, a change for our life, a change for the stray dog that you don't know, a change for the fish that's eating the radioactive waste, or you know, the kid that's starving, you know. Like I just want to see everyone prosper and grow, and I don't want to see one soul suffer. And I don't believe my mission is complete until that is fulfilled. And I believe what we're doing and what we're gonna do is we're gonna be perpetuating that mission and that vision, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Really.
A lot of people say that what you believe affects, you know, your view in the world and how you act in the world. So like your belief system affects how you act and how you treat people and things like that. And so that's one thing that I could say, like, you know, for spirituality, for getting into some of the deeper mysteries, is it shows you that you are connected with everything and everyone. So everyone is an extension of yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, the scriptures tell us that we should love one another, love God. And then so we see everyone as an extension of ourselves. That's one thing about it. Like, it kind of teaches us to appreciate all life, not just our own. In the midst of religion, man, there's a lot of greed. There's a lot of me. I'm waiting on my come up. I'm waiting on my blessing, or whatever the case is, right? And so I was told that one time, or I was asked on an interview, like, how does what I believe or my music help the earth, help the animals, help humanity? So what are you doing that's like tangible in the midst of your spirituality? I know you have a compassion for it, right? So that's what I think that's off the back. It's just giving you a compassion. But where do you go to the next level? So like, you know what I'm saying? Once you have that compassion, then does that compassion affect your diet?
Totally, man.
Okay.
Like, dude, it affects everything, dude. Like, I'm a conscious eater, dude. I stopped eating meat. Like, I still am cutting out a lot of it, but I completely stopped eating pork and red meat a long time ago. I still sometimes eat chicken, but I'm trying to cut that out too, man, because it's just I know in my soul, in my heart, it's wrong. It's wrong to kill creation. Like, that's not what we're here to do. People will say, oh yeah, well, other animals kill and do this and do that. Well, dude, we're not other animals, for one. And my personal belief is animals are extensions of our consciousness. I believe if we lived in harmony with nature, animals wouldn't kill other animals. It would just be an energy that flowed through the ether that would go to everything's head. Like, killing is not acceptable. We're not in a place where killing is acceptable. So I'm basically trying to live that life. And it goes with anything, I try to help people on a daily basis. I try to, get the message out, because dude, believe it or not, the community is waking up. There's a lot of people waking up, dude, but the majority of the world is still heavily, heavily unconscious and sleeping. And when you're awake in a sleeping world, dude, it's tiring on your mentality, So you just see things just perpetuating that are just evil, and it just hurts me, man, to see it, honestly. So yeah, on the diet, I fast a lot too. I try not to eat if I don't have to eat. Like, if I'm not hungry, I won't eat just because. I do some fasting, because fasting, I feel, connects me on a different level, and that's basically where I'm at with my diet. I don't drink, shitty sodas and stuff like that, with sugar, high sugar contents and stuff. I drink water, because the body is the temple. We all know this. This is where the living God is contained, is within your body. It's in your temple, and you are what you eat. And that wasn't just something funny that we said in middle school. It really is the truth. You want to eat death and destruction, and you're eating DNA of an animal, and what kind of life did that animal live? Your mind is a processor. You put that in your stomach, you're gonna take on that knowledge of that entity, of that being. And I don't want to perpetuate that violence. I'm about change, and I'm about the love, man. The love is really the only doctrine that you really need to know.
Yeah.
That's
where it comes from. That's where it goes, man.
Yep.
We talk about, you are what you eat. It goes a little bit deeper than that. You are what you ate. So, the food that you ate. So there was a long time, probably about 8 years, that I was eating kosher, right? I was, introduced to the kosher diet through some Messianic Jewish people.
Yeah.
And, keeping the law or whatever. So we started, cutting out pork and bottom feeders and things like that. And so a lot of Christians would get like offended whenever we would tell them that, no, we don't eat pork, or we don't eat that. Oh, you think you're better, or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
And so, that was going on. And then we say, look, it's all about love, right? And that's what you just said. It's all about love. And because we're talking about diet, when you look at the law of the scriptures, and it talks about not eating pork, not eating shellfish, not eating bottom feeders, all that comes out of love as well. Because if you love your body, you're not going to put those type of things in your body to harm yourself.
Yeah.
Like some of the things in the law, you know, that it was talking about not to eat was all bottom feeders, stuff that ate algae and feces and scum and things like that. So these shrimp and these, catfish will eat all the algae off the bottom of the riverbanks and, in the mud and things like that and slush. They eat all that, and they don't have pores to sweat out the toxins and bacteria and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so it's like embedded in their skin. And then we catch that out the river and we eat it. So not only are we eating what they ate, but, we are, putting that in our bodies as well. And so that's what it's talking about. Like everything's about love, and even your diet reflects love as well, and even the law. Like all that stuff is like metaphors and signs and symbols, but it all comes back to love your body, love your neighbor. And by doing those things right there in the fullest extent, that you've completed all of the law, all of the commandments written up in the scriptures, just by simply walking in love with all creation.
Yes, that's it, man. And that's all I tell people. I says, you don't even have to read a book, man. Just follow your soul and your spirit. Reflect on your life and your choices from the love, from a loving standpoint, and be totally honest with yourself. Do you think that killing that cow was worth that burger? Or do you think that what you're about to do is a good thing, And as long as you're completely honest with yourself and you are walking the path and you are harvesting that good energy, you are going to start to have your own revelations. You are going to start to connect with that supreme energy. Where do you think these prophets got their revelations? They got these revelations by living the lifestyle. Manly Hall said, "He who lives the life shall know the doctrine." And that is the complete honest truth. If you walk the walk, you're gonna become a prophet of your own life. And that's it, man. You're not going to become a prophet to go out there and create a religion. No, you're going to become a prophet to dictate your own life and in your relationship with God. And, why should, that's essentially what these religions are. And that's essentially what the messages are of all these prophets. Jesus, he didn't say to worship him. He said, he was just a man that brought the message of the divine Christ that we all can incarnate. It's just a matter of, do you have what it takes to walk the walk? And dude, it's hard, man. I'll tell you, it's freaking hard to do because we live in a material world in the 3D, in the physical plane. And, we're creatures of feeling and emotion, and we like what we like. And to cultivate the spirit, we have to cut out a lot of that garbage. And a lot of people aren't ready to do that. And what you got to do is you just got to move on from it. Not everybody is ready to take up that cross and go down that path. But if in your heart you are, and you do walk the path, I promise you, man, you're going to have your own revelations, dude. I have my own revelations every single day. If you follow my page, I'll hashtag Book of Christos. And those are just thoughts off the top of my head, out of the blue, out of the ether. I don't even think about it. It just comes in my head, and I drop it in a message, and I send it through. I just hashtag it because eventually if I do write a book, which I don't know, I can just go click that hashtag and they'll all pop up. I'll just write them all down. So that's basically why I'm doing that. But yeah, man, those are genuine thoughts from my own head off the top. I don't even think about it. It just comes right in. And that is just due to me reflecting on God, reflecting on this mystery, and asking questions, man, praying, sending out that energy. You got things you want to pray about, just pray, man. Send that energy into the metaphysical ether that, that we all know is there. That is, that's not, we can't see it with our physical eyes, but we know it's there. It's connecting everything. It's the Gaia sphere, the web that connects all things, Yeah. And if you send out that energy, man, it's going to come back to you. This is the law of cause and effect, dude. And,
I think while we're talking about food and things like that, I think it's a good segue to speak on Imperial Eatery, man. The other page that you guys have.
Oh, Imperial Gnosis?
The one about the food eatery.
Oh, Imperial Eatery. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Like I said, the message just comes in. I follow the spirit, and basically, dude, I set that up for myself, honestly, and other people like me, dude. I don't have extensive knowledge in food and nutrition and stuff like that. So I set up a page. I connected a lot of people on there. I put a lot of admins and editors on there that have knowledge of the vegetarian lifestyle and the holistic diets and stuff like that. And basically, it's a blog of recipes and good health knowledge for your body and stuff like that. And I just go, I do it, I do it for myself to go look at and to gain knowledge, to gain recipes, and basically build my own knowledge base of the nutritious lifestyle that I want to live. And because, dude, I don't, like I said, I lived the shitty life, and I ate a lot of shitty food, and I know that it's not good. So I set up a place for others like me. I put you on there because you're doing the same thing, and I got a bunch of other people that are involved with that do it. So if you're out there and you're hearing this and you want to change your diet, or you want to, learn more about more healthy, nutritious ways of living, go ahead and follow that page. It's Imperial Eatery, Empyreal Eatery. It's just a blog. It's really just a blog just for recipes and good stuff like that for your body. And because honestly, it's a trinity, man. Mind, body, soul, dude. If one of them is out of balance, then they're all going to be thrown off, and you need them all working perfectly in symmetry and in symbiosis to rise to the highest heights.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm at the point where there's so much that I want to do and I have to do that. My big hurdle right now is the diet. Like, I have to get that down. If I don't, I can kiss it all goodbye. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? That was given to me through revelation as well, when we talk about stargazing and just going out, seeing UFOs and talking to God or whatever. It's like the message was coming back so strong. It's like, hey, if you want to keep this up, if you want to keep the revelation up, if you want to go to the next level, Derek, you have to take care of your diet. And so that has been my golden calf at this point. It's like something that I've gone 2 months eating amazing, a vegetarian diet, and then falling on my face and slamming cheeseburgers for 6 months. Yeah, right?
Dude. And you know what? Because it's so freaking easy, man. And I'll just say McDonald's because it's just common knowledge, dude. You go to McDonald's to buy a salad, it's like $5, whereas a cheeseburger is $1. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a world where it's hard to live the right lifestyle, and we have to put energy,
some effort.
We have to actually put energy into it. So that's why I set that page up, man, to make it easier for all of us that want to do that. It's everyone's page. If you're out there and you're listening and you have knowledge of vegetarian diets and recipes and stuff like that, send us a message. We'd love to have you come on board, come join the team. We couldn't have enough people on that team. All are welcome to join that team and drop knowledge on that page all day long. I don't care. I just want a good page to go back. You just scroll the wall. You want some, you're coming home from work one day and you don't know what you're going to eat, and you don't want to stop somewhere. You just go scroll down the eatery page and see what someone posted, and just stop in the grocery store, grab a couple ingredients and cook yourself a nice meal. Like, that's basically what this page is for. It's to make it easier for people that are trying to live the life, because we all know it's much easier to live the life that keeps you back from your goals, so yeah, man, like I said, if you want to join that team, just drop us a message and we'd love to have you.
Going to another subject, man, I want to talk to you about. You have a bunch of sacred geometrical patterns tatted on your arm, man. A lot of different tattoos of sacred geometry, man. What does that mean to you?
To me, man, I've been researching sacred geometry for a long time. It was sort of one of the things I started that sort of kind of grabbed my attention, because it's so beautiful. And sacred geometry to me is the structures of creation. It's the blueprints of how things are created. You got the platonic solids, which could be found in anything that is in our organic universe. Anything that we could see with our eyes is created with these beautiful, perfect geometric structures. So one could go as far as to say, these are the fingerprints of God. So basically that's what they are to me, man. They're structures of creation. Me, myself, I'm a builder by nature. I build houses. So I have an affinity for geometry. I work with squares and triangles all day long. So I see the beauty of how things are put together. And it just fascinates me, man. You know, I build it on a big level, I draw it on a small level, and I research it on an intellectual level. And it's just I can't say enough about it, man. It should be a staple in everybody's studies that is studying the spirit. The more, and when I'm drawing these things, I was just telling a couple of people, you know, I'll sit down and start drawing these shapes, and I'll get like entranced in these beautiful, perfect shapes, and all of a sudden, dude, my eyes will literally like cross, and I won't even mean to do it, and it's like I'm peering into like another dimension, dude. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy how this stuff reacts with your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. It's definitely here for a reason. So I urge anyone to research it, to even attempt to draw it, and just to meditate on it. You know, the ancient yogis back in, you know, the ancient Vedas days, the Sri Yantra is one of my favorite geometric structures, you know, and that's something that they would meditate on. They would just look at it and they would just peer into it. And it was like they were peering into another dimension. And, you know, I didn't understand that for the longest time until I was drawing these shapes, and my eyes literally like crossed. Like, I don't know if because they were tired or the structures of what I was looking at like forced them to do that. I don't know. But when it did that, like things like just things went blurry, and I literally like it like opened a portal. And it was for a fragment of a second. It wasn't very long, but I gained gnosis of what that was talking about. You know what I mean? So now I have the gnosis of that, and so maybe now I will go and research what they were really talking about, because now I know that it can be done. It is possible. So I urge anyone to go and look at these things and research it, you know?
Yeah, these aren't some little small patterns or drawings that you're doing, man. You're like drawing these really complicated mandalas.
Yeah.
Like these are like some really beautiful pieces, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What inspires you to even start those things? Are you just starting with one little shape? Because I've seen some of the progressions that you've done.
Yeah,
just
dude.
One shape, and you just start building and building and building until you get this really big, beautiful mandala.
Yeah, basically, I'll just tell you guys my secret from when I started. As I learned how to draw the Metatron's cube. I drew it a few times. I got comfortable with it. I can draw it now, no problem. I don't need to look at anything. I just give me a compass and a square, and I can draw this shape with 13 circles and 78 lines. I can just do it right off the top of my head. I started with that, and within that one shape, you can create all 5 platonic solids and a bunch of other shapes as well. So if you learn that one shape, you have learned a lot of sacred geometry just in one shape. And you need it's all work, man. You like anything, like we were talking about before, dude. It's not just going to come overnight. Like I didn't just start drawing these crazy things overnight. You know, I actually had to put work into it. So once you start to work with it, then you start to interact with yourself, your spirit, and you'll start to be guided. Like I'll just start with just some shapes, and then it'll just go. I won't even think anymore. It will be like, all right, do this, do that. All right, add this on there, build that, do this. And like I said before, I'm a builder, so I know what it's like to construct things. And these things that I'm drawing, they're like two-dimensional houses, I would call them, because of, you know how you build a house off a blueprint. The whole entire house is contained within that blueprint on that sheet of paper. It's just in 2 dimensions, and it's the same exact thing when I'm drawing these sacred geometry pieces. It is a structure, it is a shape. It's only in 2 dimensions. So I'm going off of my knowledge of my building and my knowledge of the sacred geometry, and that's basically what is building these mandala pieces that you're talking about. But like I said, dude, all it is work. You just got to sit down and just be like, all right, I'm going to do this. And you just got to do it. And it gets frustrating. I've torn up countless sheets of paper. I've gone through many, many notebooks of paper. I've wasted so much time just on stupid stuff. But in hindsight, it's not wasted time, because I'm only just gaining practice and getting better at it, you know? And it's anything in life that's worth doing. You need to do it. You need to give it energy, and you need to cultivate it. I wouldn't want to do anything that didn't require a lot of work. You know, like it's just something that comes with the territory.
What are people saying about the images? Like, are people getting
I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. People are urging me to print these on shirts. People are wanting me to make books. They're like, dude, make that a book, and I want to color it. I want to color it like a mandala. Like those would be perfect for it. And so these are all ideas in the works right now. Like I said previously about my Book of Christos, it's just so far I just have a bunch of just small writings, and I've been just brainstorming maybe shrinking these images down to like a book size, like a 12 by 12 book, and putting it one piece on a piece of paper and just some writings on the other piece, and just let people look at these shapes and reflect on my words and see how it goes from there. Maybe that's an idea too. I don't know. I'm gonna just, like I said, I'm just gonna give it to the one, and he'll guide it where it needs to go. So
yeah, definitely.
That's it, man.
Yeah, they're definitely beautiful pieces. I didn't know if like if there's any like openings for other people, like if you can like do one for a person who was going through something or
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying, almost like created a sigil for someone,
Yeah, man, I could like I just finished the piece today, actually. I'll give a shout out to my boy Robbie. His name's Det. He goes by the name Det the Mental. He's a hip hop artist, and he sent me a song, and we were connected through the Empyre. To be honest, he liked the Empyre. He liked the message of the page. So when you just, you can kind of feel someone's energy. I knew he was a cool kid, so I friend requested him, and I messaged him. I said, hey, dude, I run the Empyre. I saw your comment section in the comment section of a post. You seem like a cool dude. And we just started talking, and we've been conversing for a little while here and there. He sees some of my work, and just yesterday he's like, hey, dude, he saw one of my writings in the Book of Christos, and he liked it. So he sent me a little verse that he wrote, some poetry. He's like, hey, he's like, I think you'll like this. It's a little bit deep, so I don't think everybody will appreciate it, but I think you'll appreciate it. So I read it. I'm like, oh, wow, dude, that's really nice. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm a hip hop artist. I'm going to try to make it a verse. I'm like, you're a hip hop artist? He goes, yeah. He goes, he was at work. He's like, I'll send you something when I get home. But I have a song on YouTube. I actually sent it to you yesterday. So I listened to it. I was like, oh, wow, dude, that's a good song. I really liked it. And the name of the song was Death Star. And I actually drew a piece called The Death Star to that exact song, dude. So, I mean, it's definitely possible, man. Like you send someone a message, and anything can be reflected in art. I know you're a scholar of Manly Hall, and his I've actually heard it in one of your songs. You put him on saying, art is the supreme way of communicating with people, through art and symbolism. It evokes the most emotion out of somebody, and a piece of artwork can evoke more emotion than words from somebody because it means something to them on a different level. You know what I mean? So there's definitely some sort of art and spirit involved with the sacred geometry, and I'm just glad that I have that ability to do that. I just praise God that I have that ability. It's not my ability. It's just an ability that I was gifted with by the Creator, and I just use it for the greater good of other people, man. That's my goal and my mission in life, is to just be a positive, radiant source of energy for others. And if I can do that through my artwork, that's a great thing, because it gives me a lot of good self feeling that I can do that. And I like to actually look at my pieces. I'm actually looking at them right now, dude. I got like 6 pieces hanging on the wall right in front of me, and I just love to look at them, and they're beautiful. So the plan is to use these pieces as gateways to other opportunities. I'm going to try to make some prints. Me and my boy Kelly, who started the Empyre with me, him. Yeah. We're going to try to get some street work out there, dude. I'm going to try to get some avenues open with some art going on the street and getting the message out that way, try to attract people with the artwork.
Yeah, and then like an art walk or something, man.
Yeah, man. Take these pieces of art, make them into stickers or something, and just go hit the streets. Try to find the people that need to hear the message, that don't even know they need to hear the message, but they're gonna see the piece of art, and then they're gonna hear what you got to say, and their life is gonna be forever changed. So that's basically where my vision with it is right now. So I'm just going to keep going with it. I'm just getting some pieces together. Probably going to make some clothes, some t-shirts, some sweatshirts, maybe some girls' clothing. My girl loves it. She's like, I want to, a lot of people have been coming to me for tattoos too, which is nuts. Like people want to tattoo these things on their body, which is like the ultimate compliment, So, so it's like, wow, dude, so it's obviously making waves, but my main mission is to, like I said, make some prints of this stuff. Go out in a metropolitan area somewhere, set up shop on the side of a busy place where a lot of traffic is going to come by, and people are going to see this stuff and get interested, and then once I got their attention, I'm going to open their mind to this grand mystery of the beauty of the life that they are currently living. Like, that's what I want to do. That's my mission, and if I can do that and I can perpetuate that message and that vibe, then I think that we're on our way to doing what God intended us to do. You're doing it through your music, and this is just a way for me to do the same thing. So that's where I see it going right now. And who knows? It might go somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely, man. Everybody listening, make sure that you go to the Esoteric Empyre page and check out some of the drawings that he has on his personal Facebook page as well. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, you could send messages to the page, and we're highly responsive over there. We got a few admins and editors that are highly responsive to messages, and our mission is to interact with the community that wants to interact with us. Yeah. For the one truth, the one message, and the one mission. Yeah. And if you're a part of that mission, like we'd love to be in contact. So
I think humility, to me, is the name of the game. Being, being humble and not walking in ego, not walking in the flesh. Have you sensed anybody yet who's kind of reached out to you or maybe made comments on the page and things like that? Because you attract all types of people, and there are people who are in the spiritual movement who are spiritual know-it-alls. Or
dude,
the case is.
It's bad, but
people?
I also, they're everywhere, and we were just talking about synchronicities. A dude inboxed me today about one of my drawings, and we just got to talking about God and humility and being humble. So it's rather synchronistic you bring this up. So I'll just repeat what I said in the inbox. Is humility to me is it's one of the opus virtues of being a spiritual minded human being, because when you're humble, when you're truly humble, you realize the nature of the life that you live in. You realize that you are better than nobody. You are absolutely better than nobody. Everyone is the same in the Creator's eyes, So when you realize that, when you truly grasp the fact of that truth, you become completely humble. The fact that you may be more advanced spiritually has nothing to do with that person just because they're not, because at one point you were there, and it doesn't make you any less than, so humility is a high virtue for me. I try to practice it daily, but like I said, Facebook is the ego Olympics. You have a lot of spiritual know-it-alls, they read one little book and now they're a guru, self-proclaimed guru. So basically what I use it as is I use it as exercise for my ego, because we all have ego. It's still there. I all it does to me is point out my ego when it flares me up a little bit. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah, see how you respond to it. Yeah, like a test.
Yeah, there's your ego coming out. Sometimes you just, because it's impersonal, you just engage in a stupid way just because whatever. But it definitely connects you with the egoic part of yourself and makes you conscious of it, So and it lets you know, like, look, dude, you still got work to do. I still have work to do. We all still have work to do. I'm working every single day. I ask the Supreme to deliver me from these emotions, from these feelings. I still have them. We all still have them. There's no shame in that. I can admit that. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I know what my truth is ultimately in my core. I know the truth, but I'm still human, dude. I'm still here. I'm still got emotions. I still got feelings just like everybody else, and I'm working on those every single day. I have a great community, a great source, a great connection with others that are doing the same thing. You're one of those people that I unload some of my bullshit onto. That's another thing I want to get out to people. Don't hold on to your garbage, man.
Yeah.
Jesus was carried into the temple by a donkey, man. We can all be the donkey for somebody. Put your I do it for people. I tell people, I say, hey, unload your baggage onto me, dude. I'll carry you into the temple. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing, man. I put out my deepest, darkest fears, and I just give them away, man.
Yeah.
And it helps me, dude. It helps me grow. It helps the brotherhood. It establishes a bond with people. And that is so, so important to have, when you are treading through this, this kingdom of darkness by yourself, man, it can get lonely, and it can get scary, man. It can generate a lot of fear. And, people that are living the spiritual life know this. And I want people to know that that's what my message is on the page, look, dude, we're all people trying to evolve our beings. We're not perfect. We're not Jesus. We're not the Christ yet. But we know that we can be, and we're trying to get there. And the only way we're going to do that is through helping each other and through love. If that wasn't how it was supposed to be done, God wouldn't have put multiple people on the planet. There would just be one person here, But we're here to help each other grow. We're here to help each other evolve into those spiritual beings that we're meant to be. And that's what the page is for, man. It's for brotherhood. And the people, honestly, dude, I have like a pretty much a zero tolerance for people that just come with just complete garbage. I have to ban them because they ruin the spiritual community, because there are people out there that are lost, that are honestly seeking. And when they see something of derogatory nature, it can infect their mind. I used to be that guy. I would see some garbage on a spiritual page, and it would totally just throw the vibe off of the page. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're actually trying to make a change. We're trying to perpetuate the positivity in people's lives. And so far it's been working. It just sucks to have to be that guy, but I'm doing it for the greater good of the community. I want everyone to evolve that is trying to evolve.
You have
Some
a lot
people
of
are
trolls out there as well. People who just get off on it, think they're funny or whatever the case is.
Oh yeah, dude. Because there's a lot of people. The people that see the spiritual reality, the people that don't, they try to knock us off our frequency a little bit, and that's understandable. They're living in the lower self, and we all used to be there. I can't judge. I can't knock them, but that's not where I am anymore, and that's not who I'm trying to be anymore, and that's not who I'm trying to associate with myself anymore. I'm trying to associate myself with people who are genuinely trying to affect a positive vibration in the world. And if they're not a part of that mission, then why are you on the page? So.
Yeah.
There's no need to be on the page if you're not about that mission. And that's basically where I'm at with it.
Yeah, whenever you was talking about talking to people and not holding anything in, there's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that talk about confession. One of them I have pulled up is James 5:16. James is a really good book, but it says, "Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much." And so you confess it because there's nothing that the enemy or these negative forces can hold against you, because you confess it. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to hide it. You're not trying to conceal it. That's where the sin comes in, dude, is when you try to hide it from people. I got this little thing I'm trying to hide from people. It's kind of like in the garden or whatever, whenever Adam sinned or whatever, and he tried to act like he didn't do it. It's like, no, God didn't see me. I'm not going to tell him. He doesn't know. But whenever we confess it, when we tell our brothers, like, look, man, I'm struggling in this area. I need help. And there's nothing that, when the scriptures talk about it says there is now therefore no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, who walk not according to the flesh, but after the Spirit. If you're walking in the Spirit, you're not going to, fulfill the lust of the flesh and start doing those things. But confessing it, you let it go, man. That you don't carry it, you don't harbor it anymore. You just let it go.
Dude, I know. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because, dude, I didn't even read that scripture. That was just I'll just call it a revelation, man. That was just a revelation that was given to me during a time in my life.
Universal
it's like, all right,
truth.
dude. Yeah, man. It just came to me. It said, all right, dude, I'm with my boy. I got this shit bothering me that I've been holding on to. And it's like, dude, just tell him.
Yeah.
Like, and there was nothing he could do for me. There was absolutely nothing he could do for me except hear what I had to say. And so I was compelled to just tell him. I told him, and literally within the next day, dude, everything started to change. Like, and so I was like, okay, wow, that's, that I'm just going to keep on doing that. And I started telling these things that were bothering me and these things that were weighing down on me mentally. I just started giving away to the people that cared about me. And, I started, I said, and sometimes when I know someone is struggling to let go because ego holds on to it. They don't want you to put yourself out there. The ego tries to protect what you have as, the thought of yourself. They don't, the ego doesn't want you to expose yourself. So people hide themselves. So what I'll do when I know someone needs to give something away, I know they're holding on to something, dude, I'll just put something out there like, dude, check this out, and I'll say something radical about myself, and that will open the gateway for them to be like, like they're like, oh, really? Wow. Like, well, dude, mine's not even that bad here. Listen to this. So that, that establishes that brotherhood. And like you said, there is no condemnation. There is no judgment with people that are living a spiritual life. Like I have no interest in judging anybody. I have my only interest is to unfold the bare human soul with others that are trying to blossom the spirit. And within that community, there is no judgment. And we're all struggling to get to that point, and we all suffer from defects in our characters and our spirit. And we just want to just burn those impurities up, man. And the only way to do that is to cultivate the flame of the spirit. And the more you cultivate the flame of that spirit and you send it back up, it's going to just burn off all impurities, man. And it's painful for a while, man, but you start to harvest the fruits of it. But to honestly look at oneself is painful in the beginning. And that's why people quit. But don't quit, man, because the spiritual treasure is worth more than all the jewels in the world, dude. And that's the truth.
Yeah, I could definitely say with the whole confession thing, man, that this is where spiritual authority, bondage, and everything lies, is in your confession. And whenever the scriptures talk about like these demonic entities or whatever, they call them strongholds, and they come and they actually come in through thoughts and ideas. And they harbor in in your mind, and they weigh on you through your thoughts and ideas and things that you believe about yourself or whatever. Whether it's something negative or it's like a demonic doctrine that you've been under about oppression and loathing and things like that. And so you confess them, you ask for forgiveness, and you release them or whatever. And I've been under certain belief systems in the past that I thought that I would never recoup from. Like I seen what it was doing to me, and I was like, you know what, I don't think I can ever get past what I've learned. I don't think I can ever unlearn this or move past it. I can confessed it to God and confessed it to some brothers and prayed, and I sought the Lord with tears, and instantly, dude, the burden left me. Like I felt it leave. I felt it I felt the presence of God come and you know what I'm saying, go to those places that were filled with confusion and doubt and worry and fear. It left, and in an instant. And so that's one thing that's about God, man. It's just like the scripture says, draw close to God, and He'll draw close to you. And so that's the truth, man. In like something that I thought would never leave me or may take years or weeks or months, left in an instant. And that's the thing about God. It's like suddenly God can step in. You can make that connection with God, and He could change your situation around like that. That's one thing to know. It's like this is the authority that we walk in. There's no such thing as time. We just exist in the now. Now is the only moment that is real, but we this life and the sun and all of these things that go on with our jobs and the clocks and things like that. We think time exists, but time doesn't exist for God. The scriptures say that a day is like 1,000 years with God.
Yeah, I mean, eternal knowledge there is no time.
Exactly.
Time is a construct of the finite, of the mortal. The infinite and eternal, limitless potential of God. What is time? That doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? Time is just an illusion. So,
yeah.
But like you were saying, man, you were at a dark place and you called out to God. I've been there, and that's how I know. That's why my mission is to find those people that are in that dark place, and because those are the ones that are gonna hear, that are gonna heed the call, and people that are living the high life and the spoon fed lifestyle. To me, dude, that. Why do they need to search? They're already living in bliss and in heaven, So that's why, the masters, they went out and they found those people that were lost and struggling to try to get through life, because those are the ones that are more receptive of this eternal knowledge. And how do I know this? Because I was that guy. I was that guy that was rock bottom for many, many years. I had a tough life from birth. I went through hell, literally. I could sit back and be like, poor me, but dude, that ain't me. I ain't gonna ever do that. And there's always someone that had it worse, and my heart breaks for that person that had it worse. So it gives me strength in my path and in my goal and in my message. And I want to find those people that are currently suffering in the darkness, because when you are in that darkness, now you have the gnosis and the knowledge of that darkness. And my personal belief, dude, is to really understand the doctrine of this light that we are seeking, you have to fully understand the darkness also. So I feel like it's a prerequisite to almost go through those struggles and hardships. Yeah. In order to purify you, to be ready to receive this holy knowledge.
It goes hand in hand, man. You can't appreciate the light until you've been through the darkness. You don't even know that the light exists unless you're in the darkness, and you can see that contrast, man. You have to have something to contrast it against.
Absolutely, man. Who said it best? Carl Jung, dude. He said, no tree can reach to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Mm-hmm. And that's completely true. You can apply that in a literal sense, dude, because a tree can only grow as tall as its roots reach. So if you want to reach to the highest imperial part of heaven, you got to go to the deepest parts of your soul. You got to go to the halls of Amenti, to the abyss. And you got to see, like, dude, this is not the place that you want to be. And when you go there, and when you see these fucking these bad places, it gives you a new motivation and a new hunger to seek that light that is going to free you from this prison, this bondage, because a lot of people are living in prison, man. A lot of people are in mental prison, and my goal is to free them of that horrible place, because I've been there, and it's
those
that's why
I've given much, man. I'm saying they love much, and
yeah, man. Like I just, dude, that's where I'm at with it, dude. Is I don't want to see people suffer, man. That stuff really hurts me, and my mission and my duty to the Creator is to try to help others who want to become liberated of that, because you don't have to live like that, you really don't. And there's other people out there that have been through your struggle and want to help you get over that. And I'm one of those people, I'm one of those people because I had help, and now it's my turn to try to help someone. And my ultimate helper was God, and I can't praise God enough. I praise God every day. I praise God publicly. I praise God on my forum.
Yeah, dude, that's the big difference with just studying gnosis and studying knowledge versus having something tangible, man. You know what I'm saying? It just makes the world of difference that it's just not a theory anymore. We're not talking about theory. We're talking about conspiracy theories or whatever. We're talking about something we know, something that we can base our lives off of, something that's tangible. That's why I got you on the podcast with me having this conversation, man, because I know that it was something deeper than, I'm going to blow your mind with this cool esoteric info that you probably never heard before or whatever. Like, no, this is something that the truth is a picture of God in the midst of this meme that I put on Facebook. Something that, and for me, like with my music, it's like that as well. Like every lyric or every like bar or two bars that I write, there's stories behind it, right? Yeah. And we could just break it down and just like, you know what I'm saying? It like every picture, every meme, every conversation, every quote, and I know you feel the same way. It's like represents a part of eternity. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
It's a piece of you. It's a piece of God, and people are connecting with it. And I don't know.
Oh, totally.
I know the Kabbalah talks about like when we deal with truth, when we deal with knowledge, we're dealing with light, right? And so this light, this knowledge, illuminates the lives of others, and it illuminates the path of others, and it takes different things to wake different people up, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are into, like, for me, like a lot of it was 9/11 truth. Getting into that kind of stuff and, Alex Jones and things like that. So a lot of people are there, and then they kind of graduate from that. It's like, you know what? It's deeper than Alex Jones. It's David Icke. Okay, well, it's deeper than David Icke. You know what I'm saying? And so,
I've reflected on this, brother. And dude, I was an observer for a long time in the pages and the spiritual schools and stuff like that. And one thing that I will say about a lot of them, dude, is they don't create the gate for the person seeking to walk through, because they almost put themselves on a pedestal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They make themselves seem like they're so spiritual and so pure that, dude, you now become scared to tell this person your deepest, darkest secrets, because they portray themselves to be this Jesus, and when in truth, Jesus, he never was like that. He brought himself down to the level of human to make you rise to that truth. Yeah. And so I was very reserved for a long time. So I did a lot of myself reflections with myself and meditated with God, and that's when I started to have the revelation, like, dude, you got to give it away. But I still didn't feel right. So that's when I just started giving it away to random strangers, like I would meet on Facebook, that seemed like they knew what was going on, and they were cool. And I met a lot of really, really deep people on Facebook, and we just started conversing, dude. And I just started being like, look, dude, I got a lot of fears, and I got a lot of this, I got a lot of that. And I just started giving it away, man, that way. But these schools and these pages, dude, they portrayed themselves out to be these gurus, and it cuts them off from the personal level. Whereas my message is to bring myself down to the person that is in hell, because I've been there and I'm never going to forget it. And the way God is guiding me to get my message out there is to connect with that soul, acknowledge their struggle, because I was there. And honestly, in hindsight, I think that's what my struggle was for, was to prepare me for this path I'm about to embark on. And I connect with that person struggling, and I bring my own garbage out. And then I say, look, dude, this is how I overcame it. And then I present them pieces of knowledge that hit me in my soul, that advanced me with myself and my spirit. And that's where I make this into an art, as opposed to putting myself on a pedestal, because I'm not on a pedestal. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just like everybody else. I just have an affinity for God. I'm completely in love with God. And when I say that, I mean, God is everything, man. God is the pebble of sand, and God is the complete cosmos, and even beyond that. And I am in love with that. And we can even bring it back to Jesus. He said, the first commandment was to love God above all things. If you can do that, like, you don't even need any other commandments. That's it.
He said everything, dude, is loving God and loving your neighbor. And I know that gets diluted with people. It's like, okay, what does loving God mean? To a radical Muslim, loving God means killing myself for those who disgrace the name of Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? It does get a little blurry there, but we're talking about walking in love with all creation.
No, when I say love God, dude, I worship life.
Mm-hmm.
I worship life. I don't have a dogma where you have to do this or you have to do that. Worship life, live in love, and embody the holy principles that you know in your heart and soul that I don't even have to tell you. You just know that because it's you.
Written
you know,
on your heart, yeah.
It's written on your spirit, man. Like, just confer with your higher self, and it will guide you in the light. And you know that killing is wrong. So, this guy that's about to go blow himself up to go live in some heaven that I don't believe exists.
Yeah.
He's obviously confused about what God is and the message of God. God created. God didn't, he didn't want you to go out there and start killing people in his name. Like, that doesn't even make sense. And how people believe that is just, their minds are open to, like, what you were saying earlier, just a demonic force of energy.
Yeah.
So, but in your heart and soul, in your true heart and soul, and I don't mean your intuition that's guided by your ego. I mean not dark, but the deepest depths of your spirit is where you're going to find the truth. And that one place, if you don't know how to get into contact with it, just filter all of your knowledge through love. Like, how would love look at this? Yeah. How would love decipher this esoteric knowledge? How would love do this? And as long as you can just keep doing that, you're gonna guide yourself down the road of spirit, and you're gonna start to have your own revelations, and you're gonna be the prophet of your own life. And that's all that matters, dude. And once you become the prophet of your own life, then you will be compelled to go and spread your message to others to try to help them liberate themselves as well.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's beautiful, man. And I look at it the same way. Even if I use the term Jesus or have him be the center, right? It's like, he is love. God is love, right? And so, people say, what would Jesus do, right? So at the same time, I'm saying the same thing you're saying. What would love do?
Yeah, exactly.
What would love say?
That's it.
And that's the deal. And I've got so many friends, and we get caught up on terminology and terms and things. And I had a friend of mine over today, and she grew up in the church, but she definitely uses the New Age terms. That's her thing, to reach out to the New Agers. She doesn't, throw around the name of Jesus or whatever the case is. But if she does, there's a lot of people who won't accept it. Like, no, dude, you guys are religious. I'm not into religion. Religion hates gay people. You guys hate gay people. Like, hold on, don't box me into all that. So that's the thing that we deal with now, with being just so versatile and knowing the truth that the truth that is in Christ as well. It's like,
oh man,
people are like,
the truth, turned
off by terms and things like that. So
I know it just shows the ignorance, I used to be the same way, dude. And so that's why when I encounter somebody that claims to be illuminated, but they disregard Jesus, I know that they're deceived. You're deceived because if you have knowledge, if you have higher knowledge, you will know Jesus spoke the truth.
It's funny. It's funny because we'll have this conversation, and then you'll see comments on YouTube. They'll say, "This was a really deep, amazing conversation. These guys are deep." Until they started talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's what they say, I swear.
Dude, trust me, man. I know. I'll make some posts with a really, really beautiful Jesus quote.
Yeah.
And dude, the quote will literally have the power to awaken you.
Yeah.
And someone will still get mad that Jesus said it.
Dude, it goes both ways, because I'll do the same thing. I've posted quotes that Jesus said but didn't put his name. And the New Agers love it. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll post a Manly P. Hall quote, which is the same thing Jesus said, just worded differently. It's like, dude, why are you mad? Why are you, like, condemning me to hell because I quoted Manly P. Hall or whatever? Because it's the same thing Jesus taught. Didn't Jesus say that, or Paul said, if it's, if you could do so, live peaceably with all men. So I share a quote about coexisting. Coexisting is New Age. It's the one world religion, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, Jesus and Paul were talking about coexisting, living peaceably with all men and all creation. What are you talking about? Why are we?
Yeah.
It's because they like, and you know what? And it's so weird because I know that I lose people there because I don't claim a sect. And I just want to share the info as it comes without dogma, without, okay, you have to believe this. If you don't believe this, then we can't walk together. I don't even, that's not where I go, but people, because I think people want to belong to something.
Yeah.
Like we have to have a name for it.
They want to label it. They want to label it because that's the ego wanting to attach something. Yeah. Me, I'm not attached to things. I'm learning to detach from the worldly things of illusion, you know. Yeah. I'm detaching from the perishable things that are in the world, and I'm aligning with the eternal, which is unseen.
Well, what do you call it? What religion is it? Tell me, what book is it from? I want to follow it. You're like, well, yeah. Just love, well, man.
Basically, it was the truth that was written on your soul that a man connected with, that he wrote down on paper, and basically you have that same truth. It's just a matter of, do you want to go to the depths to find it? And the
truth in that is so spiritual is the fact that what I think what was happening with me and some of my friends back in the day is like we had those truths written on our hearts, right? We knew they were real, but we didn't know how to express them, and we didn't know how to share them, or if we even should share them, because we wasn't certain. We just knew we had it there. We believed in something, and then we would study the scriptures and break the scriptures down and find it hidden in the scriptures that nobody's ever taught. Like, dude, look here. Like, oh wow, I always knew that. For some reason,
dude, I know.
Like I always knew that was right, and here it is, hidden in the scriptures that nobody's ever showed me. And it's like, dude, wow, dude, like this stuff is really written on our hearts, you know?
Yeah, it's no joke, man. Like we were saying, dude, the revelations and stuff like that. Dude, I'll have revelations, man, and this is when I started to get really serious with the scriptures, because for a while I was turned off. I was just like everybody else. I was a sheep that just didn't want to like it because everyone else didn't like it. And, you know, I didn't
put
think
here to control you and blah, blah, blah. So you won't rebel.
Yep. So, but I still had my spiritual aspect to my life. So I still was seeking, you know what I mean? But I still had that ego that was keeping me from doing what I wanted to do, you know? So I would arrive at these revelations and these conclusions, and I would dabble with scripture here and there, dude. And then I would read the exact revelation I had, and I'd be like, dude, what? I'd be like, all right, dude, there's something more going on here. So then I finally gained my wits about myself, and I was like, dude, I'm just going to confer with my spirit from now on, and I'm whatever anybody else tells me about something, I'm just going to take it with a grain of sand, you know what I mean? And I'm just going to confer with the Most High, and He's going to reveal to me the truth. Yeah. And that's what I do, you know. Yes. People talk down about the Bible, but you know what, dude? The Bible is written in a lot of metaphor and allegory. Yeah. A lot of the things that people translate literally are metaphors for spiritual truths. And that's basically when you are dealing with high level spiritual truths, and you are lodged in the spirit, and you are deciphering these esoteric teachings. You know, the spirit is unlocking these for you, and that just goes to show you how deviated people get. You know, because the truth is there. It's written in black and white. It's just a matter of do you want to do the work to figure that truth out. Of that, it's all a mathematical equation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the scriptures even teach that, man. It teaches it in the New and Old Testament that without being born of the Spirit, you're not going to understand those truths.
No,
you know what I'm saying. Just because you're a biblical theologian, a biblical archaeologist, or whatever, you're not going to understand what the hell these scriptures are talking about. Yep. And you know what I'm saying? It happens with the Bible, but once we're awakened, the synchronicities happen with everything. Yep. I'll be having a phone conversation. We'll be talking, and it was crazy. We're talking about a scripture in the Bible. This is what happened. I was talking to a brother about a scripture that talks about when the morning stars sing out, right? That's a scripture in the Bible talking about the morning stars, singing out or whatever, the sons of God. And then so I get off the phone with them, and I pick up a book by Manly P. Hall that I was reading. Yeah. And the name of the chapter is "The Morning Stars Sang Out." I was like, what the hell? This is what we're talking about. And this is some type of term that's the thing about the synchronicities. When it blows your mind, it's like, dude, there's no way that
it was coincidence.
Yeah, because this is such an out there term that I didn't pick up from anything. I didn't read this book. I didn't see it or whatever. It was just something that in the spirit we were talking about, and then the spirit's like, okay, I wanted to teach you this for a reason. Now we're going to go into a little bit more deeper understanding of the morning stars and who they are. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's how that synchronicity works. And it blows my mind when it is phrases and pictures and things like that that you haven't heard in 100 years.
Yeah, you know,
just like back to back. Like, what?
Yeah, dude, and I'll you know, I get going, man, with scholars. You know, someone that you would call a scholar, someone that attended college for these for the Bible.
Doctrine, yeah. That's where they study doctrine. They don't study knowledge, though. That's a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows, man. It totally shows, because their wisdom behind this knowledge is not there. It's just it's lodged in complete literal historical facts, and it has nothing to do with deep spiritual knowledge. And it just blows me away, dude. And it goes back to what you said, dude. Unless you're born in the spirit, you're not going to understand what this parable is about. And so it just, you're either going to embark on the path to unlock the spirit, or you're just going to stay on the surface level, just getting spoon fed like a baby.
Yeah.
So,
well, dude, there's so much more that we can go into, and so much more that I want to go into, but I think we should save it for another time.
Absolutely, man. We'll do this again for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to make sure that you covered or plugged before we get off here?
I'll just throw it out there real quick. All this knowledge that we talk about, right? It can be found in any line of knowledge, any you know, we were talking a lot about Jesus and stuff like that, you know, but Jesus can be directly linked with Krishna, can be directly linked with Hermes. All of the same spiritual truths are conveyed in all of the lines of knowledge. It's the spirit that is confirming these things. It's just not the people that are trying to break these teachings down. They're just not lodged in the spirit. That's why it gets confused. But what we are saying, all of this can be found across all of the cultures. I just happen to use Jesus a lot because I just love the story of Jesus and his message, man. It's just so beautiful, and it has the power to move people. And I just love to use that analogy. But I do also use other people. I also use Krishna. I also use Hermes. I'm not really well versed in the Quran or stuff, nothing like that, so I can't speak too much on that. But like I said, this knowledge that we speak of can be found in any line. Yeah. It's just a matter of, do you want to search it? Yeah. And we're always here. Send us a message. You got any questions about anything you heard here, or just in general about God, or the self-seeking, or the just anything in general, man? Just send us a message on the Empyre, or also if you want to get involved with the eatery, we would love to have you. And that's basically all I got to say, man. Yeah, it's
Esoteric Empyre on Facebook. Esoteric, EMPYRE, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we changed it. You know, the spiritual community is, like you were saying, there's a lot of people in there, and you know, I was just worried about people because a lot of people were trying to steal a name because people just like the name. But in the beginning, if you look up the word Empyrean, it means highest heaven. So we kind of are trying to align with that, the highest goals, the highest virtues, and we're trying to raise to the highest heaven spiritually. And that's what the Empyre is all about. The Esoteric Empyre is the inner kingdom of yourself. We're trying to convey the knowledge for you to erect the spiritual altar within yourself. It has nothing to do with the Empire as you would the Roman Empire. No, the Esoteric Empyre is the inner empire of your own being, and we are there just to give you the knowledge to connect with your own soul. So come hang out with us, come drop knowledge, come engage posts. We're here to learn and grow, and the only way we're going to do that is by each other and through love, and raising that vibration and amplifying that through the message is the goal of the community, and all are welcome. Just come with love, and that's all we're going to come with, and we look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, man, there's definitely some big things in the near future for you guys and for you. So I appreciate you coming on the show, sitting down with me, having this conversation. You know, I appreciate your spirit, man, being very humble, very teachable, very prophetic. I appreciate you, sharing my videos on the page as well, man. There's a lot of people who have actually came over from your page, and just kind of been, tuning into my music and stuff as well. So
yeah, dude,
much gratitude. Thank you for that, man. A lot,
absolutely, man. Hey, man, your music moved me, dude. And I want other people to experience that magic, dude. Your message is beautiful. It comes through in your music. And other people deserve to see it and hear it. And you are in the Empyre, man. You're a part of the team. So it's not my page, dude. I always tell people that, they say, oh, your page is good. No, it's not my page, dude. It's God's page. Like this came through a vision. I set this up through a vision, and we set it up, 45, 50 days ago, and we have 32,000 followers. That just speaks in itself alone. Like, this is not about me. This is about the one creator, the one and only, the ancient, unspeakable name that we don't know, but we're pondering, but we know it's there. We love this life. We love this mystery, and we're just here to connect with it, and we're trying to connect other souls, and we're glad to have you, man. We really are. It's a great element to have. Conscious music is a big thing, so we're just glad to have you there, man.
Many blessings, dude. We'll talk
Many
again
blessings,
soon.
Dude. Absolutely. Let's do it again soon.
Shalom. Namaste. Peace. Well, that was an exciting interview with a good friend of mine, Chris Harman. We've been building for a couple months now on Facebook and social media. So awesome for you guys to sit in on that conversation. And that's really what this podcast is birthed out of, just having conversations with different friends over the telephone about God and what God's doing in our lives and our thoughts on spirituality and ideas and things like that. And we would always just say, I wish we would have recorded this. I wish other people can hear what we're talking about right now, because it would help so many people. So that's basically what the podcast is birthed out of, just having these conscious conversations with people who I find interesting. A lot of the people who I've interviewed in the past were people that I've kind of studied under: Jordan Maxwell, Trisha McCannon, Dr. Michael Heiser, James Gilliland, all of these people who have had a piece of the puzzle that we put together and make this picture out of. So thanks so much for tuning into the podcast. There's so much more at mythicist.me. Get on there, leave us a message. Let us know who you want us to interview next. If you have a question for the podcast, you can record it and leave it on there as well. We'll do that. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're also on iTunes. If you're listening on iTunes, please subscribe and leave us a rating. All that stuff helps with pushing us up in the charts and stuff like that, so more people can hear the knowledge and information that we're bringing out. I love each and every one of you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace.
If you would like to sponsor the show or advertise on the Mythicist podcast, you can do so by going to www.mythicist.me and click on Sponsor the Show for more info. If you would like to support the show financially, you can do that also by going to mythicist.me and become a monthly supporter. We appreciate your monthly support